Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hope everybody's having a great Saturday. We just got finished having a real bad rainstorm here. But today I'm back on Kiwi's motor, mocking it once again. Right now I'm trying to do pulley alignment. And what happened was the ATI balancer he got, it's set up for a Chevrolet pulley. And I mentioned this a couple times in other videos, so you can go back on those. So he got all the ATI. They were telling him it was still the best option for him. The only one they had in stock that would fit possibly the stock pulley system was not going to be big enough for what he wanted to do. So we're using it. Well, Kiwi had some extra pulleys at his shop, had to be big block Chevrolet pulleys. So he dug them out, and I went and picked those up today along with some other parts. So I started mocking this up because since now we're using this with a Chevrolet pulley, I've got to realign everything to match now. Out of the two pulleys for the crank, you have two of them, the one that's on here now and this one. They're both bullet aluminum. And I was trying to figure out which one was going to work the best. This is a 3 pulley setup. The one down there is a 2 pulley setup. Well, he's not running air with this car. So with the spacing and everything, I went with the 2 pulley setup, and I'm using this water pump pulley for mock-up only. It's going to be smaller in diameter, but it's going to let us know the depth we're going to need, which in this case is going to be 2.5 inches from the front of the pulley to the back of the V-belt area. Now this had 2 pulleys on it. I had to sit there and cut that back pulley off. I'm going to have to move the bracket here for the alternator up 1/2 inch to get everything lined up, because the alternator is a dual pulley, and the water pump pulley he's wanting to get is going to have 2 pulleys on it as well, so that way it'll look uniform. So I'll give you all guys a look to see what I was doing. So with the alignment process, I usually use a string and try to get everything aligned with each other. As you can see now, the way it sets up, it lines up perfect with the outer pulley. But like I said, I'm going to move this up forward 1/2 inch, so that way it's going to be riding on the back pulley, and he's wanting to do a 2 pulley setup. So what the man wants is what I'm going to give him. Now on the crank pulley, I had to space it out to get it to line up with the water pump pulley. And the reason I would rather line up with the water pump pulley is because the issues we're having with the bolts here, and the stock one won't work. So I washed everything out, spaced it out, and got it aligned up, and so I was able to get an idea of what it's going to be. And like I said before, this was a 2 pulley setup, so I cut the back pulley off. And as you can see, it gives us just enough room to clear the bolts. But with the string on it and stuff, you can tell it's pretty lined up, which is what we're going to be going for. But the mock-up process is always fun. If there's one thing that's going to be different, it changes everything else. And he probably could have waited until ATI had another one in stock that would work better with the application. But due to time constraints, I'm trying to get this car done at the end of the month to go to the event in Sykeston. This is what we've got. But other than that, I mean, everything's going to line up pretty good. Like I said, it's going to be smaller diameter on the water pump pulley. We'll bring this out 1/2 inch. That'll line both pulleys up this way. But I mean, these were the stocks. The stock pulley setup came off this motor originally, and it just wasn't going to work. This wouldn't bolt to the balancer. This pulley was too deep going in. It was hitting the bolts. Even when I took these bolts out and put factory hardware in there, it was still hitting. We were going to have to space it out a good 1/4 inch for it to clear, which was going to throw the alignment off anyway. So, the fun part of mocking things up, trial and error, get it done out of the way first. But I was able to go by today, and I also picked up some other parts. So he got the new water neck in, so we got that now. And also, he has a radiator for this thing, but the radiator that he has is not going to work with this setup. So we discussed that today and went online, and basically what it is, the inlet and outlet are both going to be on the passenger side, which is no problem with this because this is a universal neck, so we can go anywhere this way or that way. But the bottom one was going to cause an issue. Yeah, we could have went this way, fabricated a pipe to go across to attach, but the time on that and doing it and the reliability of not leaking, we found one through 440 Source that's got the passenger side dropout, and it's an aluminum, and so he's ordered that. But it was cheaper to order that than buy another $400 radiator. So that should be coming Wednesday. When he ordered all the parts, he was supposed to order the distributor, the coil, and everything for it. And somehow it got mixed up because he had a big order going on for stuff at the shop. So we reordered the distributor today, and the coil, so that should be arriving Wednesday. Now he went ahead and got the plug wires ahead of time. Those came in, and we don't know if they're going to work. And like I told him, you know, depending on the headers, the design and stuff, these are just Summit Racing 8.5 millimeter wires, pre-cut with a straight boot on the end. Not knowing how this is going to line up with the headers that he's looked at about buying, so we're going to hold off on putting these on until the headers come in. And if they're not going to work right, we're not going to use them. We'll get cut to fit wires and get those rushed in and get those installed. He also, we got the intake gasket for it now, so I can put the intake on, and we got the pickup tube, so I can get the bottom rest of the way together. So things are slowly coming together with this. It is crunch time. We got, let's see, basically like 4 weeks to get this car together and get it running. So it's going to be real tight. I really hope we can make the deadline. And I talked with him today also about coming out to his shop and helping him on a Saturday to get the car done. Because the only thing we're waiting on the car is him getting the engine bay painted and get the epoxy on the outside of the car. He's still got some welding he's got to finish up on, like some floor pans and stuff like that, a little piece on the quarter panel. I believe he got his torque boxes in. So as soon as he gets all that done, we can get the car together, get the motor in. He's still got to bring me the other 833 A-body transmission so I can go through it, make sure it's in good shape. And like I said before, he's got one for a B-body that's ready to go, but we don't want to sit there and mess with the cross member, having to add a plate to it, changing the alignment of the hole where the shifter comes through, because you'd have to get an adapter for it to work. So hopefully the 833 A-body is going to be in good shape. Just go through it, make sure the bearings are good, make sure the gears are good, make sure all the levers work right, go in and out of each gear, make sure the bearings in the front and back are in good shape. If they are, we get them all cleaned up, get it painted. He's supposed to be dropping off the flywheel, pressure plate and stuff, hopefully this week, to find out what kind of stuff we're going to need for that. And it's going to be a rush to get this thing together. But other than that, stay tuned. I'm going to get back to mocking things up on this thing, and then we'll get the intake installed, we'll get the pickup tube installed, get the oil pan on. That'll be on another video. And hopefully by then we'll have the rest of our stuff in to finish putting this thing together. Other than that, guys, y'all have a good one, and I'll see you down the road.